Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin based on novel. So let's start. While Luo Feng quietly searched the entire city, various powers in Huyang City were shaken. Whether they were local families, dark forces, major power branches, or reclusive and idle eternal true gods, they were all somewhat shocked when they received the news. General Yong Hu, from the Yu Kingdom's capital, personally took action against divine monarch Shui Yun and was unable to subdue him. Shui Yun affected 8 billion creatures and escaped. Sect leader Shong Qianyang of the Heavenly Flame sect sacrificed himself to reveal the true identity of divine monarch Shui Yun as none other than Sang Shui Yun. The bounty on divine monarch Shui Yun has reached 10 million cosmic sand, Yu Qianxu's bounty has reached 2 million cosmic sand, and Yu Qianyi's bounty has reached 1 million cosmic sand. Each of these three pieces of news was explosive. Huyang City hadn't been this stirred up in a very long time. A figure like General Yong, when looking at the entirety of the Yu Kingdom's eternal true gods, was considered prominent. Yet divine monarch Shui Yun could match him. Two such powerful existences converged in the small city of Huyang in a short period of time. A bounty as high as 10 million cosmic sand. This already proves the strength of divine monarch Shui Yun. All sides exclaimed in amazement, their eyes filled with greed, but not one dared to entertain the notion of claiming this bounty. The Heavenly Flame sect. Countless disciples were summoned and gathered in the open square. Among you, those who are well informed must already know, the sect leader is dead, said Uncle Chiu, the metal life form, looking at the multitude of disciples. According to the arrangements made by the sect leader before his death, the Heavenly Flame sect is officially disbanded. At the latest, you must leave the sect by tomorrow daytime. Whoosh! The multitude of disciples was in an uproar. Master! Sect leader! Many disciples immediately broke into tears. The sect leader provided opportunities to many weaker true gods, allowing them to join the Heavenly Flame sect as long as they passed the tests. In the sect, regardless of their status, they had to go through rigorous learning, training, and selection processes. Only those who passed all the tests could become direct disciples. Even so, the sect leader held over 300 direct disciples under his command. This was extremely rare among the eternal true gods. The sect leader never held back, and would impart all his knowledge to those who were able to learn. Master! Some disciples were overwhelmed with emotion and could not accept all this. In this world, many of them were struggling to survive. Later, after joining the Heavenly Flame sect, the Master did not discriminate against them and treated everyone equally, giving them the opportunity to learn artifact refining skills, thus completely changing their destinies. For many disciples, the Master was the kindest person in the world toward them. How did the Master die? Who killed the Master? Vengeance, we must have vengeance. Many disciples were agitated. Uncle Chiu, the metal life form, said to the many disciples, the sect leader exposed the identity of divine monarch Shui Yun at the cost of his life and was killed by Shui Yun. As of now, not even the city owner's mansion can do anything about divine monarch Shui Yun, with his bounty amounting to 10 million cosmic sand. All the disciples fell silent. 10 million cosmic sand. Residing within Huyang City, a true god only needs to pay a primal chaos crystal per epoch. Many true gods only earn enough for the residence fee and no longer venture out, generally accumulating just 2 or 3 primal chaos crystals. Even true gods of void space generally only have a few tens of thousands of primal chaos crystals saved up. Even for lofty eternal true gods, besides the resources used for their cultivation, their personal treasures are generally also only worth around 10 to 20,000 cosmic sand. A precious mechanical flow treasure is worth around 1 million cosmic sand, enough to create a terrifying existence like the Blood Python Association leader. Just the bounty alone amounts to a whopping 10 million cosmic sand. This demonstrates the deterrent power of divine monarch Shui-Yun. Such a huge fortune, if offered to some eternal true gods, would be too dangerous to accept, as it would bring great disaster upon them. All right, hurry up and pack up, and leave as soon as possible. Uncle Chiu turned and left. The multitude of disciples remained silent. Sorrow, unwillingness, helplessness. Many of them were very grateful to the sect leader. If they could avenge him, they would be willing to risk their lives. But the enemy was too terrifying and strong, making these disciples despair. Master is dead. Mo Liuxing's eyes were filled with tears. During the time he spent in the Heavenly Flame sect, he truly admired and revered his master, Shong Qianyang. Mo Youshang, who was beside him, was in immense pain, having followed the master for even longer. I have no master, I have no master, Mo Youshang murmured softly. A mournful atmosphere enveloped the entire square, where countless disciples lingered for a long time without leaving. Luo Feng piloted the flying boat, flying at high speed in the night sky over Huyang City, while Morosa carefully sensed the surrounding space. The sector beast is a very special life form. On one hand, it is a perfect life form, and on the other, it naturally contains the great Tao of destruction origin, with a life level comparable to the primordial cosmos. Inside the body of the sector beast, it is possible to nurture a large number of warriors with various unimaginable capabilities. These are natural talents it possesses. It was only because of Luo Feng's requirements that Morosa transformed all its power into divine power, and never used the sector beast's methods outside the Star Tower. Presence. Morosa's tracking and detection of presence were much stronger than Luo Feng's. At its core, Luo Feng was just one of the many eternal true gods. But Morosa was just the power of sector beast pretending to be divine power. Morosa was extremely sensitive to all external divine power presences. Master, Morosa suddenly spoke, to the front left, I have detected the presence Yu Qianyi and her subordinates. The last time Yu Qianyi brought 4 subordinates to attack the Forbidden Ground, I firmly remember their presence. Yu Qianyi and her subordinates. Luo Feng nodded slightly. There's no rush, continue the full city search. Capturing divine monarch Shui-Yun is the top priority. Moving against Yu Qianyi now might alert the enemy. Yes, Morosa nodded, continuing the search and tracking. Time slowly passed. As Luo Feng piloted the flying boat, he also used the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall to gather intelligence. The bounty is quite high. Raising it to 10 million bounties indicates that Yu Kingdom won't immediately send masters over. Luo Feng understood this point. If a group of top experts were to come after him, there'd be no need to increase the bounty by so much. Luo Feng took the bounties on Divine Monarch Shui-Yun, Yu Qianshu, and Yu Qianyi, and from the bounty could somewhat deduce the extent of their strength. Time passed. I've visited every part of Huyang City. The flying boat stopped. Luo Feng looked at Morosa, still no sign of Sang Shui-Yun. No, Morosa shook his head in confusion. I've sensed many places more than once. There are no dead angles in the entire city. Unless he's constantly moving at high speed, and we just happen to miss each other. Otherwise, there's only one possibility, he's not within Huyang City. Luo Feng frowned slightly. Not within Huyang City. This is troublesome. This Sang Shui-Yun is really cautious, Luo Feng muttered to himself, realizing that killing Sang Shui-Yun wouldn't be easy. This leader of the Shi Kingdom's forces, who had always kept a low profile hidden within Huyang City, had concealed most of his strength over the long years. His identity had always been a mystery until Shong Qianyang made a move and revealed his real identity. The novel fire. Ne T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Upon exposure, did he actually flee outside Huyang City immediately? Let's deal with Yu Qianyi first, Luo Feng said, starting with her might lead us to Zhang Shuiyun. The three of them have an unusual relationship. They are the core powerhouses of the Shi Kingdom's forces, and should have a way to contact each other. Morosa nodded in agreement. Whoosh! The flying boat traced an arc in the sky, racing towards the place where Yu Qianyi's presence had previously been detected. Inside a very ordinary cave mansion, Yu Qianshu, Yu Qianyi, along with three eternal true gods were gathered. Who would have thought that divine monarch Shuiyun's real identity is Zhang Shuiyun? Yu Qianyi said softly with a laugh. Even we didn't know his identity, but this time it was exposed by Shong Qianyang. Marquis of Zhujiang is really angry, raising Shuiyun's bounty to 10 million cosmic sand, while mine is only 2 million cosmic sand. Yu Qianshu shook his head. The difference between him and me, it's not that big. By the way, little sister, your team encountered Luo He, and even your frost body was destroyed by him. Yes, Yu Qianyi nodded. I feel his strength is slightly stronger than mine, but with the suppression of the city's great array, I could only exert a portion of my strength. Naturally, I was no match for him. Suddenly, boom tilde 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 tilde. The entire hall they were in crumbled to pieces. Yu Qianshu, Yu Qianyi, and the three eternal true gods looked up to see a figure with 6 pairs of dazzling golden wings. The material around them was crumbling into primal chaos currents, and these currents were spreading everywhere, suppressing all 5 of them. It's Luo He! Yu Qianyi exclaimed in shock. Luo He is here. Could General Yong have arrived too? Yu Qianshu also panicked. Confident as he was, he knew he could not outmatch the renowned General Yong. Especially within Huyang City, he had no confidence to confront him. The moment Luo Feng appeared, he executed Showu wings, controlling primal chaos. Morosa, I'm out in the open, you stay hidden. Not one of these eternal true gods is allowed to escape. Luo Feng sent a mental message. Don't worry, Master, Morosa hid in the shadows. With a single step, Luo Feng was already closing in on Yu Qianshu, Yu Qianyi, and the three eternal true gods. Yu Qianshu and the others were also surveying their surroundings. Just you? Yu Qianshu asked in confusion, still warily observing the area, afraid that great General Yong who might suddenly appear. I alone am enough. Luo Feng's gaze swept over the 5 of them. I ask you, where is Shuiyun? Who gave you the courage to come here alone? Yu Qianshu scoffed coldly. Throughout Huyang City, only General Yong was a concern to him. He truly didn't take other eternal true gods seriously. Yu Qianyi stood there, her whole body spreading limitless icy cold. Her vast frost power began to resist the primal chaos domain. In terms of domain power, Yu Qianyi was equally proficient, and could even be a match for the primal chaos domain. Whoosh 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 tilde tilde tilde, with a wave of Luo Feng's hand, a surging wave of blood swept in all directions. Using perfect divine power to manipulate the mechanical stream secret treasure of life blood river, Luo Feng unleashed endless waves of blood, which combined with the power of the primal chaos domain, instantly overpowered the vast frost forces, completely enveloping Yu Qianshu, Yu Qianyi, and the three eternal true gods. What is this? Yu Qianshu and Yu Qianyi were greatly alarmed. This boundless wave of blood, though not as profound as divine monarch Shuiyun's technique, was of comparable power. The primal chaos domain and the endless wave of blood overlapped, greatly suppressing the powers of Yu Qianshu and Yu Qianyi. Huff huff huff. As for the 3 pitiable eternal true gods, they were immediately swept up by the wave of blood to Luo Feng's side. Luo Feng looked at them. Spare our lives. They had no power to resist. Even the Blood Python Association leader had been completely suppressed under Luo Feng's primal chaos domain, let alone these 3 facing dual suppression. How could these top eternal true gods resist? Tell me, where is Shuiyun? Luo Feng looked at them. Divine Monarch Shuiyun has always been very cautious. He only summons us when there's action. We can't find him at all otherwise, one eternal true god spoke eagerly. Yes, we only found out today that the Divine Monarch's real identity is Sang Shuiyun. We knew nothing before. Where the Divine Monarch is now, we have no clue. He wouldn't tell us. The three eternal true gods were clearly terrified. Listening to them, it would be strange if the three subordinates could find Divine Monarch Shuiyun given his cautious nature. Then you are of no use, Luo Feng stated. The three eternal true gods, swept up in the wave of blood, suddenly showed terror, as the blood seeping into their bodies shattered their true gods' hearts, and then their three corpses were collected into the Star Tower. Luo Feng then turned to Yutian Shu and Yutian Yi. What about you? Do you know where Divine Monarch Shuiyun is? As two of the formidable 5 gods of Yutian, under the command of Marquis Liu Yin of Shi Kingdom, Yutian Shu and Yutian Yi had gone through many life and death battles, and had extensive experience. Sensing the primal chaos domain and life-blood river's dual suppression, they knew they had encountered a formidable enemy. I created a frost body with my mechanical flow secret treasure, and the power of frost can rival primal chaos divine power. Combined with the primal chaos realm techniques I have comprehended, that's why I possess such power, Yu Qianyi transmitted. This Luo He, with his domain and the terrifying blood wave, is he also proficient in numerous primal chaos realm techniques? Is his strength a match for Divine Monarch Shuiyun? Divine Monarch Shuiyun was adept in utilizing numerous primal chaos realm techniques, and when multiple techniques were combined, a qualitative change naturally occurred. We will give it our all, Yu Tianshu transmitted. We must act swiftly to break him and leave this place at once. If we delay too long, General Yong will likely rush here. Indeed. Yu Tianyi understood this as well. General Yong's deterrence was much more terrifying, and he could even command the grand formations of Huyang City. Attack. Yu Tianshu and Yu Tianyi were still quite confident, their individual strength formidable enough, and even more terrifying when they joined forces. Swoosh 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 tilde tilde tilde, Yu Tianyi's body was encased in gathering frost, releasing countless threads of frost. If each strand was magnified 1,000-fold, they were in fact ropes formed by the power of frost, with secret patterns flowing on their surfaces. Countless sharp and condensed frost ropes penetrated through the blocking primal chaos domain and blood wave, enveloping Luo Feng from all directions. It seems he doesn't want to talk. Luo Feng extended his right hand and a blade appeared in it, the Godly King level blade embryo blood shadow knife. Boom. Search * the novelfire.nt website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Luo Feng's divine power within burned fiercely as he cast the Godly King level Dharma, Duan Mie, the raging vigor around his godly body turning violent and fierce. This vigor naturally circulated according to the 10 directions infinite blade, layer upon layer of blade energy surrounding his godly body. The countless frost ropes tried to bind Luo Feng, but once they touched the protective blade energy surrounding his godly body, they were unable to bind him any longer. He can't be bound, they can't even touch his godly body. Yu Tianyi was shocked. She had never encountered such a powerful opponent. Even the terrifying godly body of her second brother could only withstand being entangled and fight her. Not like Lord Luo He, whose protective blade energy could not be broken by the frost threads. Heavenly collapse. Yu Tianshu's divine power burned fiercely as he swung his long stick, splitting the earth in two with its powerful might that even astonished Luo Feng. More than 2 decades ago, when he underwent his second body refinement, his full power burst was probably about as powerful as this. Indeed mighty, Luo Feng muttered to himself. But tonight, He was not in the mood to enjoy the battle, nor to hone his blade technique. Facing such a ferocious stick technique, even divine monarch Shuiyun would have to win over me with the subtlety of his techniques, Yu Qianshu confidently believed. Once his godly body was cultivated to such a realm, he became accustomed to brute force techniques. In terms of violent force, perhaps only those with unlimited godly bodies could compare with him. Suddenly, Luo Feng stood in place with 6 pairs of golden wings on his back, his divine power surging and burning fiercely, his domineering protective blade energy resisting the myriad frost threads. Faced with the terrifying strike from the long stick, Luo Feng finally drew his blade. What is that? Yu Qianshu saw it, the inconceivable terrifying blade light that forcibly tore through space. A very fine black crack appeared in the extremely stable space of the land of origin due to that blade strike. This black crack sent shivers through Yu Qianshu. What had he seen? A tear in space. Could an eternal true God really do this? Legends spoke of ancient primal chaos overlords clashing and destroying the heavens and the earth, their techniques creating dark space cracks, where everything they touched would be annihilated. Bang! The blade light struck Yu Qianshu's fiercely formidable long stick, flipping it backward. In a life-and-death moment, Yu Qianshu instinctively erupted with divine power, the speed of his burning divine power accelerating instantly by more than 100-fold. He gripped the long stick with both hands and was pushed deep into the earth, landing in a huge crater. Fortunately, due to the repression of the primal chaos domain and the blood wave, the force did not spread further. When Luo Feng acted this time, he enveloped the area with the primal chaos domain, confining all fluctuations so that the outside world detected nothing. He and Morosa were more than enough. There was no need for the city owner's mansion to interfere. He withstood it. Luo Feng watched Yu Qianshu, who was still gripping the long stick and sinking in the pit, his divine power burning extremely fiercely, his aura surging. Burning divine power also varied. Certain forbidden techniques might consume a third to half of one's divine power reserve in a single move. As for Luo Feng's Duan Mie, a technique for burning divine power, there were different levels of burning intensity. He was burning divine power rather quickly at the moment, which, for his perfect divine body, was a negligible consumption. This, Yu Qianyu was also trembling with fear. Whether it was the black space crack that appeared with the slash, or the fact that her famously fierce and domineering second brother, Yu Qianshu, was actually struck into the earth, Yu Qianyu felt bewildered. If her brother had not burnt his divine power to the limit, he might not have been able to withstand a single blow. Run! Yu Qianshu's face was grim as he glanced at Yu Qianyi. He is even more terrifying than Yonghu. Flee! Yu Qianyi instantly split into 2 figures, both frost bodies tearing through the blood wave and primal chaos domain's obstruction like blade light, quickly fleeing into the distance. At this moment, Yu Qianyi deeply regretted. When she attacked the Forbidden Land, she was very cautious, remotely controlling a frost body to attack while her true body stayed hidden far away. But once she returned to base and was with her second brother, she relaxed, and her true body was also here. After all, remotely controlling a frost body consumed a lot of heart force. Naturally, she needed to relax and rest after returning to base. Who would have thought that Lord Luo he could find this base? Die! Yu Qianshu, burning with divine power, charged at Luo Feng again, hoping to disrupt him and give Yu Qianyi a chance to escape. His fierce long stick instantly stirred the primal chaos, jabbing at Luo Feng. The stick pierced through the primal chaos domain, the rolling blood wave, and even pierced through Luo Feng's body's protective blade energy, landing on Luo Feng's chest. Luo Feng's skin was tough, not even breaking. He didn't even glance at Yu Qianshu, his attention was on the fleeing Yu Qianyi. Sa the novelfire.net *website, on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Whoosh! Whoosh! Luo Feng's blade flashed out instantaneously, the blade light so fast that Yu Qianyi saw two blades of light engulf her in despair. Can't block it. Yu Qianyi condensed cold ice blades in an attempt to defend, but the two blades of light were unleashed by Luo Feng burning divine power with his blood shadow knife, even carrying a trace of black space rifts. Just by looking, one knew it was impossible to block. One frost body directly shattered. The other frost body fell to the ground, the outer ice shattered, revealing Yu Qianyi's true body, a woman who bore some resemblance to Yu Qianshu. However, there was a blade wound on her chest. Her true god's heart had already shattered. Yu Qianyi was dead. The rolling blood wave swept over, collecting the body inside the star tower. Luo Feng turned his head toward Yu Qianshu who'd taken the hit. To Luo Feng, it was nothing but a tickle. At that moment, Yu Qianshu could feel death creeping closer, pleadingly saying, "I can find divine monarch Shuiyun." Luo Feng's killing intent lessened upon hearing this. "Are you sure?" Luo Feng looked at him. Yu Qianshu wanted to live. He was not ready to die. His cultivation period was still short, nowhere near the length of old fellows like divine monarch Shuiyun or Mo Li Xiao. It was his high bloodline talent and godly body that allowed him to reach this realm. If he could comprehend a primal chaos realm move, he could be on par with General Yong. With further realm advancements, his bloodline might even transcend, reaching the primal chaos realm. His future was still full of endless possibilities. "I'm sure I can find divine monarch Shuiyun," Yu Qianshu hastily said. "As long as Lord Luo he assures my safety, I will definitely help find divine monarch Shuiyun." As long as he was alive, he couldn't care less about Shuiyun's fate. "How will you find him?" Luo Feng inquired. "Lord Luo he must first ensure my safety," Yu Qianshu said as he looked at Luo Feng. "If you can lead me to divine monarch Shuiyun, I can spare your life," Luo Feng declared. "Speak, how will you find him? If you're just making things up, then you can forget about living." Yu Qianshu trembled inside. He had clashed with divine monarch Shuiyun before, but Shuiyun's pressure wasn't as terrifying as this. "The Marquis ordered us three to act together. I'm supposed to rendezvous with him. He should not refuse," Yu Qianshu stated. "Try it then," Luo Feng looked at him. "During your contact, I'll be watching the whole process." "All right." Yu Qianshu had no choice. This was the only hope he saw for survival, so he took out a transmission token. "Is this a karmic messenger order?" Luo Feng observed. "This is specially bestowed by the Marquis. Only the Marquis can use it to locate our positions," Yu Qianshu explained, "and we, the users, can't locate our companions at all." Luo Feng nodded. He could tell this was not a standard karmic messenger order, but one specially concocted by certain forces with hidden constraints. "Shuiyun, Yu Qianyi and I have been hunted by the city owner's mansion. Yu Qianyi is dead. I managed to escape." Yu Qianshu reached out with the transmission token. "Where are you now? I need to meet up with you." "Who killed Yu Qianyi?" A cold voice came through. "Luo he did it, collaborating with the city owner's mansion. I barely escaped." Yu Qianshu replied. "You don't need to meet up with me, just head back to Shi Kingdom," the cold voice answered. Yu Qianshu was stunned, angrily saying, "The Marquis commanded us to act together. I'll report directly to the Marquis. I trust he'll understand my decision." The cold voice cut off the communication. Divine monarch Shuiyun being such a force, the Marquis would not blame him, but rather value him even more. Divine monarch Shuiyun, now exposed with his true power, although in a more perilous situation, was undeniably regarded as the strongest eternal true god under Marquis Liu Yin's command. Yu Qianshu held the transmission token, trying to contact again, but Divine Monarch Shuiyun no longer paid him any attention. Knowing Shuiyun's caution and cunning, how could he possibly agree to meet up with you? Luo Feng looked at him. Do you have another way to find him? If not, you will have to die. Yu Qianshu became anxious. He had never thought so desperately for a solution, but he couldn't find one. Lord Luo, he clearly wasn't willing to give him any time to stall. With Shuiyun's caution, it's not your fault for being useless, Luo Feng remarked, but still advanced with his knife. Luo he. Yu Qianshu's aura surged fiercely, wielding dual sticks trying desperately to defend. You are not giving me a way out. Boom tilde tilde tilde. In a terrifying clash, Yu Qianshu felt a blade slash that sent his entire body trembling and reeling. As he was sent flying backward, his godly body twisted and split apart in an instant, separating into 9 flesh avatars. 9 avatars, each identical, all burning with divine power, fled in terror in all directions. This video will end here.